What's going on, New York Giants fans and everyone in between? This is Tim. You know what time it is. It's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I don't know what freaking time it is. 10 o'clock on Sunday. It's time for this mess, this disaster. And you know what? It's always interesting and it's always funny when anyone agrees to come on this fucking nightmare and this show. So Antonio from Breaking Tackles was nice enough. And you know, people, I don't reach out to anyone because I don't like anybody. Antonio's are like, oh God, what the hell did I already walk into? If you don't know Antonio, he's from Breaking Tackles, the podcast. He's also very heavily rotated, we'll say, on our favorite place, the Twitter sphere, which is where I mainly know you from, to be perfectly honest. I did go back and look at some of your videos and some of your other things, and I love your posts, which is one of the reasons why I decided to
appreciate that
out to you directly. Want to say good morning to a couple people in the chat before we even get started. Let me get to the comments. We got Matt, we got Joe Rev already in his house going, Mr. T Dog and the G family. What's going on? Douglas says, good morning, everyone. Ready to jam out to the stream at work. Joe Rev salute, says the Big James Williams. Big James Williams is going to be on later. And we all know when James comes on, James is my brother. James will always be on. He will always be ready because James Williams and the Angry Black Man segment will be on around 11 o'clock. So make sure you guys always stay tuned for that because I've been waiting to talk to James. He's had a lot going on. Let's see here. To Protect and Serve says, good day, Mr. Online Big Blue. Sir, T. Brad is already in his house early. Hit the like button. Good morning, says Mr. McCormick. Hope you had a great birthday. I did have a very good birthday. Thank you very much. Danny says, good morning, lads. And T. Brad's going, what's up, James? What's up, everyone? What's up, room? What's up, Twitter? What's up, everywhere? Antonio.
Tim. Happy belated, by the way, man. I hope you enjoyed it. I know you went to the Knicks game, right? So
yeah, we took care of all that. So
that was a great birthday present right there.
Got Knicks Nation already in the house. So
rocking the jersey nice and proud, Monday, here we go.
I have the throwback Mark Jackson jersey on today.
Okay.
Waiting to get to those Indiana Pacers, and let's just take care of this. Knicks in 6.
Hopefully.
Knicks in 6, and that's what we're going to talk about. But we're going to talk about Giants.
Yeah.
Because you and I were talking about a couple things. We got Big Chris saying happy birthday. T-Brad with a happy birthday. Matthew says Knicks are looking great. Hope they can go. So people are worried about Obi. I don't want to get into the Knicks, but people are worried. People are like, you know what the big issue is with the Knicks, Antonio, right now is they have Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin knows this team. Obi Toppin.
That's crazy.
Can't play defense.
Yeah.
You go back to the play-in game against the Celtics. He was benched the entire fourth quarter, and Indiana won that game because Obi Toppin can't play defense.
Yeah, listen, I'm super casual when it comes to basketball. I've like the only thing I can remember this year, because I started watching basketball, as a matter of fact, a little bit more casually this year, and it's because my degenerate gambling side kicked in. And I'll say this: I did watch some Indiana and Knicks games, and I'm a little bit concerned. But the good thing is that was before the trades happened, so we really didn't see this new team, OG, and so it might be a lot different. But I just didn't like how the Pacers would space us, how they're just so fast on offense.
Here's the point to that. I'm going to refute that immediately. Not to cut you
off. Go ahead. Perfect.
I'm going to cut you off anyway.
School me.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
NBA playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a half court isolation game?
Yeah.
Slow down the pace, or is it a running game?
I would say half court.
It's always been you win in the playoffs, slowing it down, half court. Jalen Brunson is probably outside of going back to Mark Jackson or even Rod Strickland or even going back to when we had the Mo Cheeks, is one of the best at slowing down the pace or even picking up the pace and doing one-on-one ISO and understanding the nuances of what the playoffs are.
Yeah.
Now, listen, Brunson can't play defense either.
Right.
I always go back to him a couple years back. That one playoff game when he had 46 and and Donovan Mitchell had like 48. I mean, neither one of them can play. Neither one of them can play any defense. But I don't want to talk about Knicks. I want to talk about this Giants. Mike Lynn says, happy birthday. We also have Douglas says, I can't believe the Giants are going to the Super Bowl this year. Oh, wait, I actually can't. We want to talk about the offseason.
Yeah.
Because to me right now, Antonio, the offseason's already summed up. it's you're going to make some moves. You're going to do some ancillary things, but you had free agency, you had the draft, you
have the core of the team already.
You have the core of the team. You have the foundation of the team. And I want to start with, and I want to make sure everybody knows I'm going to get to the chat as well. So, everyone's, just always make sure we're going to integrate the chat as well. And I got someone coming on at 11 as well. So, we're going to start with the Brian Burns trade.
Right.
And we're going to kind of go down the roster a little bit, because I've been looking at the roster. I've been looking at the offense. I don't know if you've seen much of this show, but here we've talked about the fact that you're paying $140 million for $144 million for a guy that basically is a carbon copy
of Kayvon
Thibodeau. Same guy you already have, but he's just a little bit older, and he's probably, has a little bit more of a repartee. My biggest concern, a lot of concerns with this channel, is the fact that Kayvon has a tendency of disappearing for extended periods of time. He had half a sack in 6 games last season.
Yep.
And Burns does the same thing. Burns, I have friends and family who go to live in North Carolina, and they go to the Panthers game. And they said Burns does the same thing. My biggest concern is you're going to have these two guys that are basically mirrored to each other. Neither of them really understand how to set the edge and maintain their assignments against a run, or understand the importance of pushing the play back into the middle of the field, into your strength. What's his name? Some guy named Lawrence. And I'm worried that there's going to be an over aggressiveness in pursuit that a quality NFL quarterback is going to take advantage of.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up. I would say this, though. Brian Burns is more polished than Kayvon in the run game, in the contained game, than Kayvon is. So I am hoping that Kayvon learns off of this guy through the OTAs and the offseason and that kind of things. I'm also hoping that Kayvon magically evolves into this guy that's kind of more than just a pass rusher. I think that he has the size. He could put on the weight. He could put on the size. It might take some time, but I hope that year 3 is where he's actually putting that side, where he's going to be a strong side outside linebacker, more than kind of just like this finesse rushing up the field type of guy. Can his frame handle that? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm praying, because if not, I am questioning the pick, because the guy just last year, he was a liability in the run game. There was multiple times where
you talk about Brian Burns in the run game. And here's my issue with that right off the bat. How many games do you think last year Brian Burns had 1 or 0 solo tackles?
So I don't know. You let me know, because I haven't seen the stats. I've seen a bunch of tape on him, and I actually did see him blow up plays on the backfield. So I refuse to believe that he doesn't have any at all.
6.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got 6 games where he's had 0 or 1 solo tackle. Ask me how many games he had 2 solo tackles.
Probably none, right?
6.
Okay, so 6 games he has solo tackles.
A guy that is astute at the stopping the run.
Yeah.
In 12 games, he's had either 0 or 2 solo tackles last year.
So I'll say this.
See, the only reason I'm bringing that up is a lot of people refer to the highlights.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and I'm not picking on you, but a lot of people.
I'm not talking about highlights.
A lot of people are like, well, he blew up that play.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's 40, let's say there's 50 defense.
100%.
And to the point of Evan Neal. Evan Neal always talks about the fact that I may have 45 snaps and 3 of them suck, but nobody wants to focus on the other 42 that I played well against. So my thing is, in reference to Brian Burns, in his year last year, he went 12 games where he had either 0 or 2 only 0 or 2 solo tackles.
Yeah.
He's being moved out of what I always tell people that watch and follow this show is, we never watch highlights. We watch the entire game, because sometimes even in the bad plays, there's good things.
Yeah.
Because someone could have missed their assignment. He could have been covering for someone. I'm just curious. And if you go back to his big year, which was 2 years ago, he had something like 9 games where he had either 0 or 2 solo tackles.
Right.
This is my concern, is that Kayvon, if you look at his stats, it's almost it's so eerily similar.
Yeah.
In some regards, it's scary.
So I'll say this. Listen, in terms of solo tackles, yeah, maybe it is a little bit low, but you're also asking guys that are playing 9 techs and they're playing, really off tackle to come in, and sometimes it's it's very few times you're going to see guys run plays course to their way, right? And even if the run play goes to their way, it's probably going to be them making a tackle at the line of scrimmage. I'm not saying that he's a great run defender. I just think he's more polished than Kayvon, which is not saying much. But I do want him to kind of, I saw him also like contain outside in certain plays. I saw him kind of divert the running back to go to the other way. That's the kind of thing that we need out of Kayvon completely because,
definitely.
But I'll tell you this much. I don't think this is my problem with Joe Schoen, period. He's brings guys not only on the outside linebacker that kind of fit the exact same mold, and he's doing that all across the team. If you check our wide receivers, all of our wide receivers fit the exact same mold. And that to me,
slot receivers outside of Neighbors.
All cornerbacks fit the exact same mold. So
they're all slot corners.
Exactly. So it's just very concerning. That's not how you build a team, with this everybody with the same type of mold. And I've never seen it work. And if Joe Schoen is going to make it happen and the Giants are going to make it happen, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see. But do I think that am I ecstatic about the Brian Burns trade? The only way I can see this working is if we get someone next to Dexter, or we go ahead and we run this 5 front down linemen, right? And then we have these guys on the outside where they're pretty much just cleaning up, and they would have to go ahead and be really good at dropping back. Which,
well, wait. Let's hold that thought because we're going to get in the Shane Bowen. We're going to get in the Shane Bowen and what he liked to run in Tennessee, because what he ran in Tennessee could be entirely different than what he's going to run here.
Doubt it.
If you go by history, though, more likely when someone has what they do, that's normally what they do. But
exactly.
My one last thought about Brian Burns is this, and I always tell people, I always look at the likes of, because when you compare like a defensive end / linebacker, I think you always want to go to the top, the guys that got paid the most, and I always go to Khalil Mack. And Khalil Mack, his first 5 seasons in comparison to Brian Burns, averaged 78 tackles, where more than 50 of those were solo and 13.5 sacks. That is a guy playing almost the identical type position in reference to his size.
But he's not the same. He's not the same type of player, though.
No, but I'm saying you paid him.
Right. Yeah.
You are paying. I forget. Shine on Sports, I think it is, on the NFL Network, and a bunch of other people said that the Giants made a good trade compensation wise, which I agree.
Right.
But you are paying $144 million for an 8-sack guy.
Yeah, no, listen, he can't be that, right? He can't be an 8-sack guy.
Yeah,
right.
He can't be
king of the almost sack.
He can't be Leonard Williams. He can't have the one big season then have 6.5 sacks. Not
with the money you paid him. No, I mean, listen, Joe Schoen is basing this on projection, and he's saying, hey, listen, you're going to go out there and you're going to be at least a top 10 guy at your position. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's a lot to ask for a guy who hasn't shown top 10 yet.
That's the key. Yeah, we don't know. We kind of know what his body of work is, but we don't know. Let's get to the chat real quick. Good morning, Tim. How's everything going? Everything's going good. We got the big Don dropping in the $10 chat sticker. We always love stickers, and of course, all money go to all super chats and everything go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. Danny's saying play the Tibbs song. This is not a request hotline, but I will play the Kayvon Thibodeau song if I can find it. Hold on, let's see here.
Hey, I see Danny Boy's a Dominican like me. Okay,
we got a lot of Dominicans. We have the entire nation here. Everyone comes in here. Let's see. Where do I have? Oh no, did I lose the Kayvon Thibodeau song, guys? That would be bad. That would be bad if I did. I don't think we would know what to do. And James Williams. Oh, here we go.
Hey, kids.
Oh, no, this isn't.
Look over there. Who is it? It's Kayvon, the friendly pass rusher. Oh, no. Now he's gone.
So that, of course, is for the venerable James Williams. But did Danny want...
I gotta come up with something. The old line thinks I'm nothing if I only had a sack.
Of course, those are the two Kayvon Thibodeau songs. Matthew says, I keep seeing we're going to win 7-8 games. DJ won one upon games against the same Vikings team 7-10 last year. He is the Messiah. We all know Messiah. He's not the Messiah. Mike Glenn says, Burns put himself out of position with wide. Thank you. Here we go. With wide rushes, just like Tibbs, tackles just guide him out of the play. One of the things, Antonio, we talked about a lot last year was Kayvon Thibodeau was being taken out of the play by going wide.
He went too wide. He went too down the field.
He cut too far wide, and the tackles rightfully understood. All I need to do is push it in. He started getting his sacks once he started cutting it back inside. Once he started using a little bit of a swim move and understanding, don't take it so far out of the edge because you're going to take yourself out of the play. Here's Mike, and I don't want to pick on Brian Burns, and this is what I was talking about previously, and we're going to get into Shane Bowen. He kind of does
the same
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, but just if you're Joe Shane and if you're Joe Shane, yes, you needed a defensive end, but I said you needed a true defensive end, a Tuck, a Umanura. You needed someone like a Strahan. You needed someone that
I wanted someone that puts a hand on the ground.
Yes, he understands the nuances, not only rushing the passer, but playing the run.
The run.
Hell, I would take Matthias Kiwanuka. But what do you think Shane's process? You know you're not one player away. You're not a defensive end away from making the playoffs. What do you think his thought process was with, I'm going to take some of my trade assets, my draft assets, which I have a lot of holes in this roster, and I'm going to go out and get a guy who is basically, when I sign him, going to put me into the negatives in cap space once the rule of 51 breaks?
What? I can't defend Joe Shane, unfortunately.
You don't have to defend him. We just what do you think his thought process was?
I don't know. Maybe he thinks that he's gonna. No, listen. What I'm assuming is my defensive line is going to get to the quarterback, and it's gonna help my back. So it's gonna be a zone scheme. We're running a lot of zones, so let's go ahead and let's hope that we get to the quarterback quick. And I have not one guy, but I have two guys that, could come off the edge and create a lot of havoc. You can't sell it to me, unfortunately. I got to see it to believe it. And again, I'm still concerned is how many 3rd and longs are we going to get in? Because that's the most important thing. These guys are going to be really good. Kayvon and Burns, I would absolutely love to see them in a lot of 3rd and longs. We got to get to 3rd and longs, though. How are we going to be good, effective on 1st and 2nd down, stopping the run? That I don't know yet. I can't. It's not even that I don't know. I don't see it. Not with the team that we currently have right now.
Shane Bowen, when he was in Tennessee, going back to his first season as the defensive coordinator, which was the COVID season, and Mike Vrabel came out and said that he didn't have a defensive coordinator that year, but the unofficial title went to Shane Bowen, and they made the playoffs, but their defense was okay. Their secondary was porous.
Right.
2 years go by. Vrabel brings in Jim Schwartz, and Jim Schwartz has talked about this. You can go to Tennessee and read the article. Jim Schwartz came in and said, my job when I was hired as a consultant was to mentor Shane Bowen and his coaching staff and give him a second set of eyes, and said, maybe I would do this. The defense improved those 2 years. Secondary got better. Last year, Schwartz takes the job in Cleveland, and the defense goes back to having extremely poor secondary. And they run a lot of zone schemes, or Bowen does. You have your best player out in the secondary right now is Banks. He fits more into the press cover wink system than he does putting him into a zone scheme.
I believe all of Banks' interceptions last year came off zone, though.
They came off zone, but a lot. Again, interceptions are one play.
Right.
We have to look at the other 47 plays he went through.
My question would be is how more successful would he be in more zone, though?
My question is this: if you're taking a guy that to me should be a press cover corner,
you could press.
Should be
press in zone.
Should be a man-to-man guy. I'm not saying he can't play zone.
Right.
I think you are going to take away his strike. Right now, we could say the secondary outside of Banks and maybe Jason Pinnock
Right.
Truly only defined positions. We picked up
Correct.
David Long Jr., but he had 12 tackles for 3 teams last year. You picked up Jalen Mills. He's on the downside of his career. You have Flott. You have Holmes, both slot cover corner guys. To me, Banks is going to be, if you have a wide receiver, you have an AJ Brown, you have a Devontae Smith, you have a Saquon Barkley in the backfield, you have the tight end, and you have a CeeDee Lamb, and you have Terry McLaurin. You are not going in this division alone. Going to a zone defense at times is going to be a detriment because of the fact that you are going to probably AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley. I'm going to tell you right now, are going to find a soft spot in the zone. One of those 3 guys. There's going to be no doubt about it. And Hurts is going to, and I like Jalen Hurts. I always tell people Jalen Hurts is one of my favorite quarterbacks. He's going to pick on somebody, and he's going to go after somebody.
Do you like Saquon Barkley in the pass game? Because I don't. I don't think he's a good, as a passer. I don't think he's all that. And did you see the Colts? I mean, I'm sure you did. But the Colts game that Daniel Jones had a really good game.
That was the last game of the season against a very bad Colts defense.
But Bobby Okereke shut down in the pass game. He shut down Barkley in the pass game.
But here's the thing. Saquon Barkley, 2018, 91 receptions, 721 yards. Who was his quarterback?
Manning.
Okay, 2019, Saquon Barkley had 4 100-yard rushing games, and most of his passing yards came with one guy at quarterback. And out of those 4 100-yard games, 3 of them were with a certain quarterback in 2019. Well, who do you think their quarterback was?
Manning again.
All of a sudden, he went from catching 91 balls to 52 balls to 41, 57, 41.
Yeah.
To me, it's the way the quarterback positionally puts his players to catch the ball. All of a sudden,
that could be too. Also, yeah,
Saquon
absolutely.
Barkley did not forget all of a sudden going back to Penn State and Pop Warner how to catch the ball.
Oh, 100%. I'm not saying that he can't catch. What I'm just saying is his route running is not the best. Coming off the backfield, I don't have. He's not McCaffrey, right? We know that obviously yeah. But I also there's a couple of guys in the league that I would pick over him when it comes to running routes off the backfield. I think that Saquon Barkley is a great player. I think he's gonna have a great year in Philly. But if it's just a pass game, I think that certain routes that he runs, I'm just not impressed. It's not as crisp as I would want Saquon to be. So, but listen, can he find an open zone on zone coverage? Absolutely. The whole point is this. Listen, when it comes to zone, and let's go back to Banks. Banks could absolutely press in a cover 3 zone. He could go ahead and.
I'm not saying he can't.
Yeah,
I'm not.
He could play match. He could play match zone. I'm hoping that they're kind of switch it up and kind of show different looks. Obviously, they're always not going to be in zone. Was Bowen high in zone? 76%, yes. But I do think that there was a lot of times also where with Wink, I felt like, man, if you're constantly putting your guys in man coverage, that is also very stressful. If you've played football, you know that playing so much man and being on the field for so long, eventually late in the game, you're going to be fried.
Or you have already sequestered your man so much, you've already beaten him down so much that you have taken that prime wide receiver out of the game because of the fact that you have for 4 quarters or 3 quarters shut him down, and you take away.
That's assuming that you have an offense that can score points.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of assumption with the Giants. We're going to get to that. But just one last point on Saquon Barkley. First 2 years, 143 receptions. The last 6 years, 141.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
There's only one common denominator in that.
We know.
So we're not going to. Eric says, Matt, the Giants will win just enough games to crush any hopes of drafting high enough to look at a good quarterback prospect.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Eric says, wise choice in your name. Tommy Cutlets is starter now, solidifies his bad season in the Italian fan base. Damn, homie, hit on the head. Of course. I mean, like I said, that's why we have Antonio here, man. We're rolling today. Barbara says, Shane is betting that Carson Beck or someone else is getting better than McCarthy, and the Giants won't have to trade anything to get a quarterback, whoever it is, and maybe that's a big ask. A lot of people are saying that, Antonio, that and a lot of pundits are saying, you know, it's very interesting that the Giants passed completely on a quarterback, not just in the first round, but they basically they took the kid out of Wabash as a free agent. But they basically
he's a camp body.
He's a camp body. He's an arm body.
Right, exactly.
He's a camp arm. But it is interesting that you have a lot of people are saying it's very weird that the Giants passed.
I don't think it's weird
on any quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think it's weird. Daniel Jones is Joe Shane's guy. What's weird about that? He's admitted, he's come out and said Daniel Jones is my guy.
Here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
2 neck injuries and an ACL in 3 years.
Yep. That's
so
why.
We're relying on a guy that may only play 6 games.
And he brought in Drew Lock and said Drew Lock would be the backup. I mean, again, we got to take Joe Shane for his words. And if he wants to, you know, dig his own grave and set it up.
But as a season ticket holder, he's digging his own grave with my money. Drew Lock, 2nd round pick since 2019, couldn't beat out Teddy Bridgewater, got benched. He only came in back injury, couldn't beat out Geno Smith twice. Everyone talks about the Giant game and the 77-yard drive. I'm sitting there with James Williams 30 yards away from the field, and we all got excited when Drew Lock came in. It was the ineptitude of the Giants defense, not the play of Drew Lock. People talk about the game in Philadelphia. He threw for 200 yards and a touchdown. Philadelphia gave up that game more than Drew Lock won that game. And Joe Shane and Brian Dable's thought process is he can dance. He's got moxie. I heard that. He's got the moxie. I can dance, but you don't see me sitting there going, I should be an NFL quarterback.
Listen, this is what I'm just hoping. I'm just hoping Daniel Jones stays healthy enough so he could give us 16 games so we could probably win only 5 games. I am absolutely scared that Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito could ruin this for us. That's it. That's where I'm gonna keep it at. And to that point, and let me just kind of retract a little bit what I said there. This whole thought that Danny DeVito, Tommy DeVito, whatever his DeVito name is.
Oh no, we know who he is here.
Actually won games for us.
Jersey. Tommy.
Wait for the beat to drop.
Jersey Shore, Tommy DeVito. I got you. Listen, those games that he won, Rob, what's good, baby?
My guy, bro.
Those games that DeVito won, check how much points the defense allowed in those games.
Oh god, yeah.
And that's also, listen, I love this because Joe Shane is gonna get Brian Dable fired this year. I want Brian Dable gone, and then eventually he's gonna get fired too. So I'm okay with it. Tim, do I feel bad for you season ticket holders? Absolutely. You guys are screwed, and you guys are putting your money there. I'm sorry. I know some of you guys. No. Listen, I know some of you guys can't.
You know what? He's got banned. They just told me as a season ticket holder, I'm screwed. You're gonna sit in timeout. He's like ticket holder who spent all this money that he just got screwed.
See, let me put it politely to you. You guys are fucked. You know.
Yeah.
Rob, I would ban you, but that's no fun anymore.
Rob is
hey, I like the grenade cup. Cup.
You know, that's because I'm the bomb. Everybody knows that. Thank you. That's an old cup, though. I've had that on.
I'm the call me the Timinator.
We always got that.
That's foreshadowing the season.
This, you know, again, I can't ban you again, because I invited you on, so I can't keep banning you.
Appreciate that.
Well, you know what? I just thought of something. Yeah, I can. All right, Hirsch for real. You want to be immersed. You all right there, Batman?
Yeah. I think my voice actually sounds. Swear to me. No, I sound better. I think my voice. It's almost kind of back.
Did you ever sound good? Carson back.
Damn.
Only in bed.
I'm not even. All right. Carson back is who I got my eye on. Oh, Rob, you knew that was coming.
I know. Listen, I felt bad. He got banned twice. I didn't even get one yet.
Thank you, Rob. That's why you're my guy, Rob.
I got you, baby.
Mike Glenn says Ojulari is a better pass rusher than Brian Burns, just can't stay healthy. I
don't know about that one.
I don't see that one.
Yeah.
That's what we would call in the sports world a reach.
I love Ojulari's pass game, but I don't know if it's better than Burns.
Yeah, Ojulari's got some nice moves. Like
his pass rush game is really good.
It really is. He can dip his shoulder down. He keeps level ground. You know, we saw that in a couple of games, but he can't stay healthy. So,
well, I think that's the Mike point. And honestly, I believe Ojulari's pass rush or sack ratio per play is actually higher than Brian Burns. But again, if you have 7 plays and you get a sack,
that's it, right? Yeah. So it's not a big enough sample size.
Exactly. Because of the amount of games that he's only played, like which is so weird, right? Because his rookie year, he didn't start, but he was available to play the entire year. And then he played in 10 games and he got 8.5 sacks. And we all thought he was going to be like.
You put up we don't ever listen to Rob.
How do I
your Twitter handle?
How do I do that? I don't even know. But BT Giants at BT Giants is on Twitter. I'll go ahead and put it in the comments here. Give me just 1 second, guys.
Put it in the comment section so everyone knows and everyone can follow you, because you do have some astute opinions. And make sure everyone's hitting the like button. You do have some astute opinions, and you do have opinions that are I will say they're not. I'm not going to say controversial, but sometimes they're more thought provoking, and some people like them, some people don't like them. So you give both sides of the game.
And listen, and I love. Little sidetrack or whatever. I love people say I make comments and it's kind of bait to get people to come and interact with me. I don't care about the interactions, to be honest. I stopped podcasting for a whole year. I'm literally strictly on Twitter now. But what I'm not gonna do is I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, and I'm gonna agree with all the other content creators and all the other guys that are just saying this is a great thing. Oh, we're gonna go in and we're gonna go win 10 games. I have a different perspective, I guess, and I'm seeing things differently, and this is going to be the second year in a row right now where I'm like, I don't like where this is going. I don't like what I see right now. Clearly my opinions are going to change when I see some preseason action and see some practices. But right now I am absolutely worried for this season, and I feel bad for you season ticket holders.
we talking about practice, man.
He talks about my season tickets one more time. You know what's going to happen.
Unbelievable. The nerve of that guy.
You bring somebody in. The first thing they want to do is talk about your season tickets. There's one thing I want to talk about real quick here, because we got a new plan for Mint Mobile, guys. Before I want to get into this real quick, Mint Mobile right now is offering. I got to pay the bills, bro. Mint Mobile right now is offering $15 a month. Any of their plans for 3 months. You can get the unlimited plan for $45 a month for the first 3 months. And if you act right now, when you go to mintmobile.com/Big Blue, you get 6 free months of Paramount Plus. So not only do you get one of the best nation's wireless running on T-Mobile, you also get $15 a month unlimited internet if you want for 3 months for $45, and 6 months of Paramount Plus.
Wow.
Come on. That's a deal.
Now what you should do is you should have a voiceover or like a voice changer of Ryan Reynolds. So when you talk, you sound like Ryan Reynolds when you do that.
You got to teach him that.
I got that kind of fucking time. Eric says, don't worry, guys. Most podcasters agree we are getting T. Higgins, and DJ will be lifting the Lombardi Trophy. Everyone, and this is the other thing that I always find interesting about this is why no one ever comes on this show, because we don't agree with anybody. And we have been saying no to all we ever say, especially with someone's like, well, we're going to get T. Higgins, we're going to get this guy, we're going to get that guy. And I always bring up do we have the cap space? You know, that's the first of all, because right now, if we take a look at the cap space, if the camp was to break today with the Rule 51 expiring, with the rookie draft class, with with Joe Shane's $10 million in operational cap space, and also with the practice squad players, we're going to be negative like $28 million.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already restructured Dexter Lawrence. That includes the restructure of Dexter Lawrence. You're going to have to restructure Andrew Thomas. You're going to hope that Darren Waller retires. You get that $6.9 million. But the problem is this: there is one contract for this to work, and they are waiting to the end of camp. I'm telling you this right now because of the repercussions that needs to be touched.
Daniel Jones.
It's Daniel Jones. And that should scare the bejesus out of anyone, because if you continuously kick the can down the road like Gettleman did, we only had an $18 million dead cap number for Daniel Jones. Now we got a $25 million dead cap number in 2025 because of the fact that we had to restructure and kick the can down the road again. People don't understand that money doesn't disappear. When Leonard Williams,
King of the almost sack,
got moved on to Seattle, we are still incurring $10 million in dead cap space right now in this year. Leonard Williams right now is almost accounting for 4.5% of our cap space.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not even here anymore. We don't have the talent anymore. So when people say you could just restructure, you can convert that salary into bonus money. Some of that money has to be moved out down the road. It's not like you can just straight convert it, because if that was the case, everyone would circumvent the cap that way.
I think we have a 19 million in dead cap right now.
Yes, we have almost $20 million in dead cap space. I believe there's like 18 contracts.
I really think the only guys that they could really do would be like AT, maybe Bobby O, and then Waller would have to retire.
Well,
and that would be,
you would still be short.
Yeah.
We've talked about this on the show. Everyone knows this a million times. Why did we trade Leonard Williams? It wasn't because of Joe Shane's bullshit with, we wanted to just send him someplace so he could go
could they do anything with Burns
to sign a backup quarterback? We ran out of cap space.
Could they do anything with Burns?
They could restructure. They could convert some of his money, yes. But since his contract was just signed, it would have to technically be a renegotiation. But yes, they could convert some of his money to salary bonus. But then again, you're going to be kicking some of that cash also into 2025 and 2026. So you're gonna have a bigger cap number as you continuously go down the road. Royal Money Entertainment, it's all facts. We all know that. That's why we need a CB2. That's why I want to talk about the CB2 position.
Yeah. Yikes.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. We've talked about this before. We met when we went to the draft party, we went to a bar afterwards, Big Al and I, and we met a gentleman who worked for the Giants. And I told him who I was immediately because he had been drinking and I didn't want him to divulge information, that he didn't want to say. So I always felt that I could say some of the things because I told him, I said, I do this. He basically said at one point in time that the Giants are waiting for Dory Jackson to come back to them.
Okay.
And I even said to him, well, Dory Jackson says he wants to play for a contender. And that's not going to be the Giants. I mean, if you're going to take a veteran minimum, I'm not going to go back to New York.
Right.
I'm going to Tampa. I'm going to Jacksonville. I'm going to someplace warm. I'm old. That's why I'm going to someplace warm. But I'm going someplace that there's going to be a contender. Rob, Jalen Mills is not filling my heart full of joy. Phillips, speed guy, no interceptions, issues in coverage. Has tendency. I don't think he has the fluidity in the hips to run with certain wide receivers, and I think he is going to have to use that makeup speed to get back into the position. I can't pencil him in the CB2. I'm not putting Jalen Mills in the CB2 because he may have to play safety, and I don't want Jalen Mills anyway. When David Long, 3 teams in 1 year with only 12 tackles, is your other guy. You have Darnay Holmes. And I laugh because I met Darnay Holmes at the draft party and I had a t-shirt and I've told the story before. He went to sign it. I flipped it and put it on the table and I told him that's how you cover. But at this point in time, I mean, I can't have him and Flott in the slot. And then you have Robinson, the secondary, and then you're going to have Pinnock as your key component because you basically got rid of the one guy who could have been your saving grace in McKinney.
Yeah.
How is this secondary going to play out?
They're going to pray that the defensive line gets to the quarterback faster than they could blow the coverage. That's it.
And I think that's been, and Tone and I, we've had this conversation, before, over the phone. Like, I think that's what Joe Shane, that's what Joe Shane wants to do. Is I think the addition of Brian Burns, which ultimately,
I have friends. I talk on the phone with people. Ooh, look at me. I'm Rob.
Damn, Rob. We're tied. We're tied. No, I'm up
by 3. I'm at 2.
I'm up by 1.
You're up by 1. You're up by 1. But it was confusing to me. Like, so you want to try to get to the quarterback, but they didn't really address the defensive line in the draft. not going after, a 3-tech or some type of, defensive lineman that you can put next to like a Brandon Dorless or something like that you could put next to Dexter Lawrence. And, I laugh, like I go on the Giants website and I go to their depth chart. Yeah, PFF, and you look at like the breakdown or next gen stats, you look at the breakdown, and they've got, Roches and they've got Phillips, the guy that they signed from the Bills, as the two other defensive linemen. And I can actually see them doing some stupid shit like that. I think they're probably going to roll out there with Nick McLeod and either have Nick on the outside and Flott on the inside, or they're going to put Flott on the outside and they're going to start Andrew Phillips.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Nick McLeod, but
I think he's played well. When he's got his number called.
Problem with Nick is he reminds me of Dane Belton. Dane Belton always. Everyone talks about he had three turnovers in that game, even though 2 of them were gifted to him. But then everyone forgets he was the trailer on 4 consecutive touchdown passes after that. I think McLeod has his moments where he can shine, but I think he's a better player than Dane Belton. But I think if you are and we all know we're not a playoff consideration team, but if you are,
Tim, it depends on who you ask.
You're true. I lost my fucking mind for a minute.
Because if you were where me and Tone were yesterday, we're making the playoffs, baby.
We're always making the playoffs. But if you are a playoff team, Nick McLeod is a good 5th, 6th guy in your secondary. You are a bad, not a bad team, but you are an up and coming team, and you are going to rely on him to be a starting component.
Yeah, I think this is a Cordell Flott, Drew Phillips kind of who's going to get the slot, who's going to get the outside guy.
Yeah.
And I don't like it, but let's see what happens. Again, that's why I'm kind of happy that we're in the zone world where it's not going to be as stressful on these guys as it was last year.
Ask the secondary for Tennessee how stressful this zone world is.
Yeah. No, listen, but they were bad over there, man. I mean, those guys are bad.
But we're outside of Deontay Banks. We're not much better.
And we don't have the safeties that they had. They had all pro caliber safeties out there.
We don't have that. I got to get to the super chat from my Irish Rover. Says, hey, Tim, you said 1,000,000 times that it's true. Once again, we signed Jones. Our cap was fucked in 2025. Our schedule is tied for the 6th hardest in the NFL next year.
Is it?
Jones does not get hurt. Yes, the NFL came out, the prognosticators came out and said that our schedule is the 6th most difficult, which I don't believe. Because of the fact that it came out in May. Let's see what the teams that we've said it before 1,000,000 times on this show, the teams that you think are going to be good sometimes are bad. Sometimes those teams you think are going to be bad are going to be good.
Yeah.
People give their early predictions because there's usually no way to tell because they're like, well, Seattle's going to be bad this year. And then they go out and find Geno Smith and win 10 games and make the playoffs. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually one of those guys that does put volume into what they did last year. I'm not this guy. I'm not the type of person that says, "Oh, it's a completely new team the following season" and stuff like that. No, like if most of the core players are in those teams, I absolutely value what they did last year, and I do kind of replicate it. That's what I've done the last 2 years, trying to predict the Giants season record. It's kind of used information from last year. That's all you could go by. I don't try to predict, what the team is going to be at now. I don't know what they're going to be now. I can only go by what last year they did,
Well, throw on and say, wait a minute, I got to get to some of these chat guys. Where's the Batman voice?
I'm Batman.
Swear to me.
I'm scared. Douglas says, I'm scared that DJ will pop off to another average season and we'll be stuck with him for 10 years. I am praying it won't happen. Mike Glenn also says, what is overlooked is the times Barkley's athleticism bailed out Jones in the passing game, catching all Jones's off-target passes.
I agree.
Saquon Barkley got hurt that second year. Why? Does anyone remember?
Are you talking about the
ankle injury
when he got stepped on? No, you're
talking about the one in Tampa.
The one
bad throw.
He went at second year, missed those 3-4 games, came back early in that game against Eric, came back early for that game in Arizona in the rain because I was there, should never have played, but he got hurt by going after and trying to reel in a bad throw by Daniel Jones. That's how he sprained his ankle. And I think Mike Glenn is 100% right on this. I think Barkley, people talk about, well, that one interception against Dallas. I said, okay, you know what you need to do for me? And I've said this 1,000,000 times, and Rob's heard me say this. I'm going to say it again. Go out to your backyard, go out with your buddy, run forward, stop, contort your body completely behind you, have your friend throw you the ball as you are falling down, falling down in the rain, and tell me how easy it is to catch that ball.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell people. Just go do it. Just go try it. Like Rob, you don't have any friends to throw you the ball. Except on
That's
the phone.
that's why when we say, when we get a little bit of pushback, when we say this Malik Neighbors thing is Saquon Barkley all over again, like that's how I feel.
We're gonna get to Malik Neighbors next, but I'm gonna run through these real quick. It's 10-7. DeVito led less than 100 yards passing. He also beat the New England Patriots, and we've talked about it a million times on the show. The greatest non-tank ever by a head coach was by Bill Belichick in that game. You were driving for the winning score. You were driving in the rain. You have your rookie kicker. You have one play you are going to run 99.9% of the time. You run that ball dead center in the field, set up your rookie kicker in the bad weather to kick directly ahead. What does he do? He runs it all the way to the right hash. And you sit there and you look at it.
Liked it in the right hash.
Huh?
Maybe the kicker likes it in the right hash.
No, a rookie kicker in the rain. No, you don't run it all the way to the right hash. You looked at that kick and it was like, that is one of the weirdest positions to put a guy in to kick a field goal that I've ever seen watching football going back to 1976. I've never seen that before. Greatest non-tank there ever was. Make sure you're hitting the like button, guys, over on whatever the hell it's called. What is that fucking thing? YouTube. We got 100. We got 70 plus people on YouTube. We got another 40 something, 60 something people on Twitter. So make sure you're hitting all those buttons and all those freaking things that you're supposed to do. Where's the Batman voice? Where they did this? I love these three brothers. Why are they trying to make the best sense out of the madness? Lol, James, you're going to be on in a minute, James. So make sure you're in the house. We have if you want to follow. It's going to be if you want to follow Antonio, it's BT Giants. That's on Twitter. Make sure you follow. Make sure you go out there and follow him as well. James, hit the likes button. What's up, says Sports Critic? It's Tim. What's up, Tim? Blazin says, "Good day, gentlemen." Martinez of the Birmingham Stallions would be the best quarterback the Giants has in the up-and-coming Kansas. He did. You know what's funny? You also have AJ McCarron.
Yeah,
playing well in the UFL or whatever it's called. I prefer the USFL. Big Chris in the house saying if the Giants win 10 games, how many of those are because Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock are under center? All right, I'm going to start with Antonio in the corner. If Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito are your starting would be your starting quarterback combination, what is your win-loss total for the Giants?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't care who's at quarterback out of this team right now. It's still gonna be. I'm gonna give it early prediction is 6 wins.
Now, but you have to give me the answer because there's another question.
Yeah, 6 wins regardless. 6 wins.
No. It's not regardless.
Yeah,
it's not regardless. What is your win total if you have 17 games under center for Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock?
6 wins.
Now, what's your win total if you have Daniel Jones?
6 wins.
So you're saying it doesn't matter. Who's going to be under center?
Doesn't matter. Listen, I'm actually being generous giving them 6 wins. I think we're going to win even less than 6 wins.
Okay. Rob, Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock under center for 17 games. What's your win-loss total?
If Drew's playing, I say
Could
7
be a
or 8.
combination of either or.
I say if Drew's playing, it's like 7 or 8.
Now,
if DeVito's playing, it's like maybe 5 or 6. If Jones is playing, it's like 4.
Okay, so you're under the assumption that Jones will actually, and this is kind of what I was trying to get to. You're under the assumption that you may be better off with the combination of DeVito and Lock. Now, my question is this: why, in your perception, now you've given the win-loss total, Antonio? See, man, this is how you talk on the show. I was going to build you up, and you were going to.
I hear you. I'm not going for the bait. I'm not going for the bait.
Why? First of all, why do you have such a win total difference between the two? And what is the differences that is going to make this team better having either Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock than compared to Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Me or
Yeah,
Tone?
no, well, he didn't answer.
I said the same with all of them, Rob.
I think.
I'm just gonna mute his mic now.
Well, I didn't know. I thought you were going in order. My bad.
No. He didn't answer the question right. So
All right.
you
For the bait. He didn't fall for the bait. Say it like it is, Tim.
So for Drew Lock, and I've been watching a little bit. I've been watching a little bit of like the QB school breakdown on like what they've been doing on Drew Lock. I think Drew just has an arm. He's definitely improved, I would say, his game since being in Denver. His footwork, he's matured, I believe, a little bit. And I think he's just going to be that guy that's going to take that risk. I think he's a guy when he's playing, you could see that he believes in his arm, that he's going to try to make a throw and fit it into a window and give his guys an opportunity to make plays. And so I think more times than not, I think we do have some talent on this team that can be used if with the right guy. So I think Drew Lock just gives you the better opportunity because he's going to take those chances and you have a higher chance of getting those big plays with Drew at quarterback than you do with Daniel Jones, strictly because Daniel just doesn't make those throws. Tommy DeVito to me is still a raw guy. Like he came in for a few games last year. He played good, then he didn't play so good. I think he still has room to grow. He could be maybe an okay player in this league, maybe a potential backup. I don't know, but I think that Drew just gives you this team with what we have currently constructed. He still has the ability to be mobile a little bit. He's got a strong arm. I just think he gives you the better chance to win, strictly because he's just going to make the throws. He's not going to hesitate. And the last thing I'll say is, and a lot of the breakdowns that I was watching with the QB school, he's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. He's making a quick read, identifying, reading the coverage, and not taking extra steps, planting that back foot, and releasing the football. And a lot of times that's what you got to do. And Jones just holds onto the ball too long.
Okay, can I get a crack at that real quick?
No. All right, moving on. Irish, yes, of course you can.
So here's the thing.
This is why nobody comes on.
Nah, listen, I'm coming back.
Learn that in the first 7 minutes. There's something wrong with
this. This feels like happy hour at 10 o'clock in the morning, man. This is crazy.
That's a lot of people say.
Yeah.
James Williams is coming on, so it's going to get real bad real quick.
Here's the thing. Do we have like we have more than six? Let's put it this way: we have more than 16 games on Jones. We have more than 16 games on Drew Lock. We got 60 games on Jones. We got 28 on Drew Lock. We know what these guys are. You know what I'm saying? Like, can guys change? Can guys go and do what Geno did, go somewhere else and kind of elevate their game a little bit? It's highly unlikely, but it could happen. But Drew Lock is a career 1-to-1 touchdown or interception guy. That's who he is. So asking Drew Lock to come out of the nowhere and be this savior or figure shit out, I'm sorry. It's really hard to kind of buy that. The only guy who you can have some type of hope is Tommy DeVito, because at the end of the day, he's a guy that has less than 16 games in his pocket. You don't really know who he is. I'm not going to say Tommy DeVito completely sucks just off of 9 games last year. And at the end of the day, even
Syracuse and had to go to Illinois.
Hey, listen, he could have had a terrible college tape, but at the end of the day, you know what? He does have 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in the NFL in his first year. So he has good ratio so far. Who knows? Let's see. I'm the only guy who I'm not ready to judge, and I know who he is Tommy DeVito. The other two, I know who they are. They're not winners, man.
But Tone, and I'm not trying to be a Drew Lock defender, but Drew Lock when he was in Denver, that situation there,
disaster. I agree.
It was a disaster. Did change going to Seattle. Like, he did improve going there, sticking behind Geno Smith. Learning how to be a pro, probably got humbled a little bit. And in the games that he did go in, which he played some last year, a substantial amount last year, or in 2022, I think, because Geno got hurt a little bit. Geno got hurt again last year, and he played a significant amount of games. He did improve. So
The stats don't say that though, Rob.
If you look at we talked about it, right? You look at the Philadelphia game, people are like, well, I talk about the Pat McAfee show. He was dropping dimes. He threw for 200 yards and a touchdown and it was more of Philadelphia giving in than him being
similar.
Well, look, I'm not necessarily.
Wait. You talk about the 49er game. He lost that one like 38-16. There's how many times have we padded stats for players because of the fact that they're just not really. It's not that they're not playing, but you're going into a Tampa 2. You're going into a prevent. You're going to give up the yardage. He couldn't beat out Teddy Bridgewater. He couldn't beat out Geno Smith twice. And what scares me is he comes to New York, and he's the best guy in the room.
Yeah.
Well, look, the thing with Teddy Bridgewater, they gave him a decent contract. I didn't expect him not to be the starter there in Denver. And then Geno Smith came in, and, I get it. Look, I'm not necessarily coming from it.
The one thing about Teddy Bridgewater is he only really played for Teddy Bridgewater when Bridgewater got hurt. Now, when just out of curiosity, what do you think happened when Bridgewater was healthy again?
Got back the job.
He got back the job immediately. And he came back from concussions. And he still came back in and took the job away from Drew Lock. Listen, I'm not saying you're not wrong. I'm not saying that Drew Lock's not the best quarterback we have in the room.
I don't even think that's true.
But I can't go with Tommy
DeVito. Listen,
look, hold on.
I'd rather see Tommy.
Hold on. Where I'm coming from, I'm not coming from a statistical point of view. I'm talking about his growth at the position itself, meaning his footwork, reading, pre-snap, stuff like the guy, JT O'Sullivan was breaking it down. Like, he has improved his game and his pre-snap stuff, his footwork since being in Denver, going to Seattle.
That's great. Sometimes garbage is better than trash.
I'm not saying he's the savior.
No, I know you're not, but I'm just saying, that's what we do here. That doesn't matter to me. That's like, well, he only sucks a little bit less.
Like, again, like the 49ers game, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and in the Eagles game, 1 touchdown.
He threw for 208.
Like, bro, if you look at his body of work, if you look at the baseball card, he is who he is. He has.
Wait a minute. Did he just say you look at the baseball card?
Did he say baseball card?
He just said we look at the baseball card.
Hey, that's an old phrase.
We're just looking at the basketball cards here.
Hey, that's an old phrase. I'm sorry you guys are not up on that. Listen, if you look at the back of the card of the player.
Do not know. We have Antonio here from Breaking Tackle Giants, coming all the way in from the Dominicano. Oh, coming and dropping his knowledge.
Danny knows what I'm talking about. If you look at the back of, if you look at the stats, if you look at the football card, he shows you who he is.
Now I feel like he's being condescending.
So this is what that feels like to watch it.
This one looks like that. Ask Dom. This one's like to be on the other end.
Antonio,
I'm going to tell you something, Antonio. I'm going to tell you something right off the bat, and Rob can attest to this because I beat on Rob mercilessly. If I don't ban you, if I don't wonka you, as we like to refer to it as,
because you
nothing, you lose. Good day, sir.
If I don't do that to you, that means I don't like you.
Exactly. I got you. Tough love.
It's all tough. I'm going to say I don't want to stay on Drew Lock, but this one I'm about to say one thing.
Yeah.
People talk about the fact that what quarterbacks have come out of nowhere, let's say, and led a team. Now you can go back to the likes of I'm old. You go back
Warner.
Kurt Warner, but I'm talking about people that really came from nothing. Kurt Warner never got a chance to play until Mark Bulger got hurt. But you go back to like Jim Plunkett, who got wrecked in New England, and then he went to the Raiders, won the Super Bowl, but he never really put up these huge numbers like people, as we said before, as the mind's eye wanders, people kind of forget what Jim Plunkett really was with the Raiders. He had maybe a good season and a half. I always refer back to the old quarterback with the Giants, Tommy Maddox. Got drafted in the first round by Denver, flamed out, then bounced around. The league bounced around. The USFL bounced around. The XFL, won the $1 million game in the XFL, went back to the Giants, then went over and then he went over to Pittsburgh, played when Cordell Stewart got hurt. He had 2 good seasons after just being 0-6 his first 6 years in the league, but then he dropped off the planet. So there, you can do it. But at the end of the day, how many Tommy Maddoxes out there are going to be out there, since this league has been in the inception since the 1920s, that we have seen come in and do this? That's all I'm saying about Drew Lock. It's just interesting that, not saying you guys, but it's interesting that a lot of people have their eggs in the Drew Lock basket.
Yeah. Yeah. The more I look at it, the more I'm just like, yeah, it's not going to work no matter who's there. And again, I just think that a lot of times we look at games over the last 3 years and we don't take into account that we've had I've always been, you'll always hear me say this. I think we missed opportunities with this defense. The last 2 years, we could have had a defense that could have been in the top 10, but we just didn't have the offense to complement it. And I think that eventually this defense, especially now we're coming with a brand new defense, brand new coordinator, brand new scheme. This defense might take some time to adjust. We might not even have the correct pieces for this defense. If this defense cannot bail us out on any games, right? Most of the games that we've won in the past 2 years have because the defense has allowed 22 or less points. What happens when the defense is struggling? What happens if they're having a bad year and the defense can't bail us out at all? That's going to be an ugly sight.
Speaking of ugly sights, it's not an ugly sight. It's a beautiful sight. It's my brother. And I'm waiting for him to stop.
I thought you were talking about me.
We don't look anything alike. This guy and I are twins. We've always said it before. Where'd you go, James? You lost your camera? Oh, there you go. So I'll put James there. James, you're like very slow on
pace.
What's wrong with your internet, man? James, you got no internet?
I don't know. I guess. Oh, it's Daniel Jones.
Tell your girl you need some internet.
Damn it, Daniel.
Tell her no QVC.
Shopping right now. All the internet's going to the shopping.
It's all going to the shop. James, try logging back in again, because you are beyond choppy. Try logging back in again. We're gonna see if James can jump back in again. We got to go to a couple of these. Blazing says TJ Tampa was sitting there, and you need a CB2. Flott just turned 22. He is younger than Banks and will be our CB2. Irish Rover says, "What's up, James?" James is going to be in the chat in a minute. Matthew says they need to put a lock on Mara's office so they can't interfere anymore. Because no, Matthew, we know it's not John Mara, it's Mr. John Mara.
Yo, that episode was really funny, by the way. I was crying laughing here.
Which one?
Where you was like, it's Mr. Tim from Online Big Blue from now on.
That was great. Tim from Online Big Blue, sir.
Yeah, that was great.
We got James. I think James Williams is back here. James, are you back? There you go. You look better.
Oh, there he goes. Yeah.
Am I better? Look better? Do I look black?
You look black. For those that do not know, we had an epiphany last live stream, and I'm not sure that everyone's aware of this, but James, T-Brad, and Swing Culture TV, they're black.
Oh my God.
I know, it was a shock to me, to the point that I had to stop the show and tell T-Brad, "You're black? You didn't tell me. You hang out with my family. We go out together. We go to dinner together. And now you're just telling me you're black."
Tim, I got news for you. Tim, I got news for you. But this brother over here, he looks a little. You know?
What do you mean?
I'm back, guys.
Hey, here we go. Most people don't know that's me singing.
Is it? Is it now?
That's me singing. Most people don't know that. Of course, I'm allowed to do that because I've said it before. My wife's Hispanic, so it felt good. So I always say it's not racist. James, my brother, how are you, man?
What's up, guys? Happy birthday again. What's up, Rob?
What's up, baby?
And we got Mr. Antonio here from Breaking Tackles.
Nice to meet you, my brother.
This is James. This is the venerable James Williams, who is always on the show. We've missed you the last couple episodes, James.
Yeah, I took a hiatus.
He took a hiatus because of the fact that we had so much to say. But let me get to a couple more of these chats, and I want to get to James. I also want to get to the CB2 position. James is also right. Happy Cinco de Mayo, as referred to the 5 quarterbacks in Jarrett May's quarterback room in New England. Honestly, said Joe, at times I'm really worried about the defense. I'm not worried about the offense. Guys, we're starting with Rob. What are you more worried about, offense or defense?
Offense.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio?
Offense. Yeah, offense.
Let me guess, James.
Everything.
You're worried about the defense. Oh, I thought you were going to say the defense to be fucking sarcastic.
I'm already worried. I'm already worried.
Hey, wait. Graham Gano's coming back. We can't worry about special teams. He's
Okay.
Special team.
Boarding sarcasm.
Special teams is good. Hirschfield says drafting May and Milton was a stroke of genius. I do think that as well. Christopher says, sup, Matt, James, Hirsch, and Irish Rover, everyone in the chat. Big Mike Glenn says, Shane is making moves like we are contenders, and this is only a piece or two away from being contenders. We already know.
Yeah.
James, do you think we're going to get invited to the event that we went to last year?
Absolutely. Not the way you asked for. Not after what you pulled last year. Absolutely. Hey, Bob Papa's gonna be looking. Oh, Tim? No, he ain't coming. We ain't inviting him.
Antonio, for those that do not know,
I kind of remember that. I kind of remember seeing videos of that.
I got yelled at because I was bad.
Bro, Jones' face when he asked the question, he was like,
"Oh, I love to."
I believe in myself, and maybe I might tear my ACL and a neck injury, and on week 1, we're gonna get blown out. 40-0.
It might rain.
And my guy over there, my left tackle, he's gonna hurt himself but stay in the game. We're going to look good for a drive, but then we're going to get a blocked field goal, and it's going to be all fucked from there.
Well, I still think the best thing was after I asked my question, everyone's booing me because this is the love I get. So I'm walking back to my seat, and there's my brother. And I sit down. I'm waiting for this kind of affirmation, kind of waiting for this, this great job, Tim. He looks at me and goes, "You are so stupid."
Now they know who you are.
That's if I didn't love James before, that was what I want to let me know. This is my brother. C. Sanders says, how can the Giants get out of the situation? If they starts and gets hurt, we are screwed. Yeah, that about sums up. Stanley says, is it true the Giants manager is sitting Daniel Jones and starting Drew Lock for the season? Does anyone think that's going to happen?
Nope.
I don't think it's going to happen. I view this whole Drew Lock has a chance to compete the same way that they said that they were looking to move up to 3 for fucking Joe Alt.
Yep.
That shit. Like if Joe, I'll say this, if they took Neighbors at 5, the Chargers, and Joe Alt was sitting there at 6, we would have taken Joe Alt 100%. But we were never trading up to 3 for Joe Alt. So they did that to make Danny Waney. I'm gonna take a line from Mays, Danny Waney, to make him feel all positive. Oh no, Daniel. We weren't going Drake. No, they misread us. We were talking about Joe. They got the name wrong. We were looking for Joe Alt, and so now they're doing the same thing to the Giants fans. We didn't get a quarterback. No problem, Giants fans. Drew Lock. He's going to compete. He may start. Let's hear it for Drew Lock. Let's hear it for Drew.
This comment's for James. He ran into the right hash faster than Cheech and Chong. Matthew said, what would be a smart thing to do? Let's see. Emmanuel's in his house. What's going on, Emmanuel? How you doing, my brother? Matthew says that's for Sanders. 4 wins, says Danny. T. Brad says, why does everyone hate on Jones so much? We haven't heard the phrase 6 times. It's the charm. T. Sanders says, if the Giants win 10 games, I'll cry like having my firstborn. We have Jeff Newman. How's it going? Mr. McCormick says this team is going to be historically awful. I'm predicting 2 wins. Carson Beck is on deck. Does anyone think this team is going to be historically awful? I mean,
they have the potential.
3-12 and one was bad in 83. You got the really bad James is like me. You got the really bad teams in the 70s. You also have some really bad teams in the early 40s. But James, do you think? Here's a story.
Of a shitty franchise who was winning no more than 4 fucking games. They passed on quarterback since 2019, and they overpaid a stupid guy from Duke. New York Giants. The New York Giants. That's the reason we suck. We are the Giants.
Rob, and for those that know, Rob will never be doing that again.
Ever.
We're just gonna bring that up because I just brought that.
Would surprise me if he records that and puts it on his fucking sound.
Well, actually, that's what I'm in the process of doing.
I was gonna say that's gonna happen now. You just look at yourself.
You already know if I'm looking down like this and I'm pushing buttons.
I knew it from the second, bro. You were like, oh, let me get that.
He loved that. You can tell he loved that. You can tell in his face.
Like, I just finished recording. I have to edit it later. But because Rob, you're only good at one thing.
Do the monkey with me. Man, I'm pretty.
Rob is sassy.
Man, I'm pretty.
Now I can take my vitamins.
Johnny Bravo and Rob. I never put that together.
Yo, I love Johnny Bravo, bro.
Johnny Bravo was the man.
Johnny Bravo.
Hey, are you guys ready for the new face of the franchise in 2025?
Wait.
That'll never be the face of the franchise. We don't gotta worry about that.
Wait, we forgot who it was.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
There we go.
That's it right there.
Face of the franchise in 2025.
Daniel Potter right there. Daniel Potter.
It's Daniel Potter. Who was the new face of the franchise?
Bill Belichick.
No, I love it though. Well, because this is from James Williams. Well, in all fairness, Rob, as you gain in age, you're going to mature a little, anyways. Love you, man. Just throw that one. We got
Rob was trying. So if I fall too, Rob was going so hard or trying to explain, and I love you, Rob. You know I do. He was going so hard to try to go. Drew Lock has matured since being in Denver. The locker room guys like him. It seems around the league he has respect. If you look at some of his throws, they were actually that. Like, you know what you guys sounded like?
Smart.
You know what you guys. You know what your brother sounded like. You guys sounded like I was sitting there next to my girl. I was dying laughing at y'all. I was like, "This is how low we've fallen." Yeah. You guys sounded like, and don't just listen to the joke before you get offended. You guys sounded like three bums. No, listen. You sounded like three bums outside of a McDonald's dumpster, and you're digging through the trash. Talk about, I found a half a chicken. I found a piece of a fish sandwich. Oh, here goes some fries. You are trying to find the light in a pool of garbage, and I commend you for it because that's a hard thing to do. My God, we are going to suck next year, guys.
That's what she said. Big Don with the super chat. Seen him play at University of Syracuse. That would, of course, be Tommy DeVito. Trash had to transfer. That basically sums it up. Irish Rover says all three quarterbacks in the Giants are not starting quarterbacks. They are backups at best. Locke has moxie. I always loved it because that was the big. He's got moxie. And I basically said on the last video that Jonathan Moxon, he actually threw up in Billy Bob's helmet when he heard that he had moxie, because that means literally nothing.
Jonathan Moxon talked to girls.
That's right.
It's just,
that's right, man. He went after Lance Arbor's girl, or she went after him.
Daniel Jones talks to country singers.
Come on.
Let's keep that. He had a girl come out and whipped cream.
That's right. That's right. That's what Jonathan Moxon was. Drew Lock's dancing on the sideline. Moxon's in the strip club with Billy Bob and Lance Arbor with the teacher, and they're all sitting there like he's like a fucking Bo Callahan.
Come on, man. We got the most boring.
Let me ask you. Y'all think DJ does keg stands?
Yeah, I watch a lot of Varsity Blues. I see.
You think he's a keg? You think he's a keg stand guy?
With me, you pancake eating motherfucker.
That's the way it is. What's Varsity Blues?
Nothing.
Varsity Blues is a good movie.
What is he talking about? This isn't in real life. James, what the hell's wrong with this guy?
Listen, no offense, but in that movie, Antonio, there's a lot of similarities to us. Do you remember how they treated the black running back in that movie?
That's true.
Oh my God! No, you calling it? Nah, what?
That's true.
Let's call a spade, guys. Do you remember how they treated the black running back in that movie? And it took Moxon to go, nah, anybody got a problem with him running it in right now? And he looked around it, no, man, no, go ahead. And the guy was, thanks, Moxon. I got scouts in the stands looking at me. My mom is doing my recruiting.
He did get into college. He did get that scholarship.
Come on, man. There's too many similarities to that movie. We're cheering for the backup. Paul Walker got hurt. We're cheering for DeVito.
Actually, it's
Come on, man.
It's Lance Arthur.
I don't. Whatever, man. Tommy, whatever. We're cheering for the backup. Rob is trying to find every stat on Drew Lock to pump us up. Tommy DeVito's making sauce with his mom. Come on, man. This is sad.
It's not like
this is sad.
It's not like we have Willie.
That's right.
Yes. Come on. My name is Willie.
Willie Beamer.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, that's that's what Kirk Cousins is dealing with right now. Michael Penix coming in, do-rag, sunglasses, boombox.
Cap Rooney would have to sit on the fucking bench, and we would have Willie Beeman in the game right now. But no, instead we got Bo Callahan.
Come on, man. This is. I love you, brothers, but this is. We are grasping at straws here.
No,
we really are.
I love this though from Danny because you thought you had support here. We Dominicans, we gotta talk baseball. In reference to baseball, right? I got you, Dan. What's up? We got Big Mark Stewart. Mark, I haven't seen you in a while. What's up, G family? Tom Brady is the gold standard. Tom Brady is a gold standard. Logic's finest all the way from Germany. If you don't have pieces, then you don't have a defense. Danny Slow Processors. Danny Jones has abused us fans so long as we're looking at Locke as a savior. I think the only one looking at Locke for savior is this guy in the corner here.
Yeah.
Who is our leading receiver this year for the Giants, guys?
Oh,
we're gonna start. Who's going to be your leading receiver? Slayton. Who do you think, James? Leading receiver for the Giants this year?
That is really tough.
You gotta give an answer, James.
Slayton. I'm dead serious. Darius Slayton has been our best receiver by far for the last 3-4 years. Until I see proof of otherwise, because the Malik thing, he's going to be great. Are you sure Daniel Jones is going to be able to hit him in stride down the field? Let's be serious. It's going to be Darius Slayton. That's my answer. Go ahead, fellas.
Rob, what's your answer? Who's your leading wide receiver for this year for the 2024 New York Football Giants?
I'm really torn here.
Okay. Rob still think it's going to be
bringing you the smooth sounds of Kenny G.
70 million.
As you can plainly see.
For those that do not, that sound effect was created 24 hours after he signed the contract.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of like the jazz sound. It's like so relaxing, bro.
I know. He dropped the ball. So who's your receiver? Who's your leading wide receiver? It doesn't have to be wide receiver. Who's leading this team in receptions? I'm gonna throw it. Doesn't have to be wide receiver.
You're just talking about receptions, like catches.
I'm just going with receptions.
Wandale Robinson.
Wandale. Yeah, Wandale.
I think Wandale is going to be your.
Wandale had 60 catches last year.
Wandale's going to catch the most just because he's playing the slot, and he's going to be the one that Daniel Jones is going to be like, "Oh, you throwing a 3-yard out? Okay, cool. I'm going to go to you."
He might.
Don't say a 4-yard average.
If he's playing,
yeah.
Well, what? How many games? When did Wandale like come? He came back the week 3, but I don't think he was getting like a big load.
He didn't start starting. I should rephrase that. Towards the end of like the last 7-8 games of the season, he played in 15 games last year. But it was more toward the latter half of the season did he start starting. We should rephrase that.
So he came back, but he came back week 3. So I'm going to count it from like week 4. So what's that? 13 games. So that's 13 games.
Yeah.
So he was averaging 4.6 catches per game.
8.8 yards of reception and his yak.
I think so. If he plays the whole year, he could have almost 80 catches. And that's what I was going to say. I think he'll have like 80 catches.
I don't understand this, guys, and I do want someone to answer this question about Wandale Robinson. I think Wandale Robinson should basically turn himself into a running back. I keep thinking he should be a Darren Sproles type back, where Darren Sproles caught more receptions than he actually ran the ball, but he was more productive at times running the ball. You got a guy that 60 receptions for 525 yards, 8.8 yards a catch.
Right.
He had 29 first down receptions. His success rate was only 53%. He's looking at a guy that only averages 35 yards a game. And for some unknown reason, his yak is non-existent, except out of a couple of plays here and there. And if you watch him in play at Kentucky, he did have potential of getting pulled down from behind. Why do people all of a sudden think that this this. I mean, Dom, I think, is taller than Wan'Dale Robinson, and I think Dom is 3'11". What makes people think that this guy is going to come in here and put up these huge numbers and not? I mean, James, do your Wan'Dale Robinson impression when he's open in the backfield. That's all he does. He waves his hand. That's what he does. And of course, there's the Dahmer. That's how tall Wan'Dale Robinson is compared to normal human beings. What makes us think that he is going to be something special?
I absolutely think he's going to be special.
I do.
Okay, why?
I think he's being held back by the quarterback.
Antonio jumped in first. Why do you think he's going to be something special?
Advanced metrics show that he is open quite often. You could check film, 22 film. He's open often. CeeDee Lamb came out and endorsed him, said he is an underrated player. People are not talking about him enough. He just unfortunately has Daniel Jones as his quarterback and the rest of these lames as quarterback. He's absolutely everything film stats show that he's actually a good wide receiver, a good slot wide receiver.
What stats show that he not advanced stats? Because 98% of people can tell you 68% of the time, 53% of the stats can be proven by 80% of just anything that you want to say about stats, which is also proved by 83% of all stats. That's advanced stats.
That was confusing, but okay.
If you have to rely on advanced stats to prove someone is good.
Right, because here's the thing. If you don't get opportunities, we're really not going to see, right? You look at his stats right now, you look at his yards, you look at his receptions, doesn't say much, right? But that's
how many times was he targeted last year?
Targets, let me look it up right now. He had 78. Right.
Oh, you got to just know these things.
I'm terrible with numbers. I have to look them up.
But so he was targeted 78% of the time. He's got a catch percentage about 77%, 75% catch percentage.
Right.
And what is the advanced stats and where he is catching the ball on the field?
Probably below the 5-yard line.
Yes. So he's 4.4 yards away when he's catching the ball.
Right.
And most of the times when you do that, a lot of times what you're doing is you're as like they did with Saquon Barkley back in 19, where he had 90 plus receptions. They put him in a position to catch the ball where he could get a yak, where he could move and, positionally maybe have one-on-one coverage. Because usually if you're getting that far off that close to the line, you're probably not going to be drawing double coverage. And I can think of maybe 2 plays where he's shown any type of burst or ability to, and I'm not picking on you. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
No, I'm just, you're telling me, we've talked about it before with Drew Lock, with Rob's homeboy, Drew Lock. We've talked about this. All of a sudden, we're using all these stats and metrics, and we're saying, well, Drew Lock is what he is. This is year 3 for Wan'Dale Robinson.
You also have to understand that because of who the quarterback is, you're also limited on your route.
Watch this now. Watch this. This. I'm going to come back from all the way from like an hour and a half ago. So it depends on who the quarterback is in regard to how your receptions and how well you receive the ball. So Saquon Barkley.
No, the routes that you're running. The routes that you're running, not the receptions, not the receptions.
But Saquon all of a sudden didn't catch 141 balls in 2 years, and all of a sudden 4 years with Daniel Jones catch 139.
Right. When was the last time that you saw anybody in this team get hit on a seam route by Daniel Jones? What about back shoulder throw? Those things matter. So you need to have those routes available, right? Those routes are no longer available for these guys. You're talking about a slot receiver that cannot go deep because he would not get the ball. So he literally has to go ahead and run 5-yard outs, 5-yard ins, drags. He has to run all these bad routes, right? That he can't go explosive routes. That matters. And if a guy like CeeDee Lamb, when they ask him who's his top 5 receivers are in the NFL, and then he says, hey, I'll give you an honorable mention, Wan'Dale Robinson. You got to take that. You got to put a lot of weight on that.
I don't take weight on that at all. He's a cowboy. He's a cowboy.
And he's talking about his rival.
Is he? Now, listen, I would take more credence with that if you asked a cornerback, who are your top 5 wide receivers? If you come up and tell me a wide receiver's tell me, that doesn't mean shit to me. If you say to Antonio Winfield Jr., who are the top 5 toughest guys that you have to cover in this league, and you think are the toughest, and they're like, well, you know, And then they say Wan'Dale Robinson as an honorable mention. I take credence in that.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I do like to listen to the opinion of people who are doing it at the top of their game, and they're looking at somebody that, gay, I never heard anybody even mention Wan'Dale as, hey, look at this guy. Yeah. Look what he's doing out there.
James, you look like you have to say something.
It's just, I love, I go front, Tonio, brother. You are up there. You and Rob are fighting today, man. You were just coming out with the stats, trying to fight today, man.
Fire, baby.
I love it, man. It's like we're digging in that dumpster, man. We just trying to pull out whatever we can.
Oh, he ain't a dumpster. He's not a dumpster player.
No,
Come on, bro.
No. I'm talking. No. Hey, the dumpster is the team.
Right.
The dumpster is the team. You missed the analogy, Rob, with the McDonald's dumpster.
Okay.
The dumpster is the Giants.
Right.
We're trying to go in the dumpster and pick out something that's not totally rotten. There you. Thank you.
Look, I mean, when you look at Wan'Dale Robinson, he was ranked 6th among all pass catchers last year in separation. He was 8th last year in all pass catchers in catching percentage, and his passer rating when throwing the ball was 99.8.
So why is he?
Hold on. Let me simplify this. Hold on. Really simple. Hold on. Really simple, Rob. Those are great stats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna come to you with just simple. How much of an impact did Wan'Dale Robinson have on us winning games?
How much of an impact did he have on us winning games?
And more importantly, the offense and scoring points.
Okay, hold on. See, so this is where I'm going to push back, because people made the same, not you, but I hear people on the timeline and in these spaces making that same excuse.
Why we don't go into spaces.
Making that same thing that you just said about Saquon Barkley. Expecting Saquon Barkley, because he was picked number 2, to come into the situation that he came into and being on the team that he is right now, to be the know-all, be-all, to go out there and just win games on his own. Wan'Dale Robinson is dependent on somebody else getting him the football. The quarterback has to get him the football.
I have a question. There was Saquon Barkley. How does he get the football?
He gets handed it off.
By whom?
The quarterback. Okay, but that's different. Anybody, you or me can go up there and hand a fucking football off to a running back.
No, I don't think you could.
Yes, I could. I 100% could.
Rob, just because you said that, I would like you to go outside with a video camera. Find yourself a friend that you must have. You might probably have some big friends. I have some big friends that are some guys like 250, 300 pounds, and have him snap the ball back to you and turn around and film it and show us how easy it is to turn. I always love people because I played in college. I always love when people are like, it's real easy to do this. No, the nuances of just how you keep your hands and how your hands are positioned when you're going underneath the center is so difficult because of the fact you could break your thumbs. If you don't have your hands in the right position, you are not going to receive the ball the proper way, to turn around, get the laces the right way, and hand the ball back off. It's not as easy as just going under center. It's not as easy as going between some guy's legs.
That's what she said. And
taking the ball and taking the snap. I always love when people take something that professionals do. And I'm picking on you, Rob, but I'm just saying, I just love when people take something that a professional does and says, well, anyone could do that. No, that's actually a very important nuance of the game.
Well, what I'm saying is it's easier to hand the ball off than to make a read on a defense and throw a receiver open or
find do that other way.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not sitting here saying like handing the ball off, there's not an art to it, or it's not difficult, or anything that you said. I'm not combating that. I'm saying throwing the ball to a receiver and handing the ball off to a running back. Handing the ball off to a running back is easier than reading a defense and throwing a wide receiver open, or finding a receiver, or when you got guys in your face trying to sack you.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying I don't think you should take any aspect and say that anyone can hand the ball off.
I mean, there are bad quarterbacks.
Hold on. You know what? Hold on.
Go to your local high school.
But there are bad quarterbacks in this league that hand the ball off just fine.
Yeah, but there are also bad quarterbacks in leagues that fumble the snap extensively. And good quarterbacks have an issue with the snaps. But go ahead, Richard.
Rob, hold on. Let me real quick, and then Rob, you take over. To defend Rob, because Tim is right. Most of the time, as fans, we sit at home and we think we can do stuff that the athletes can do, and most of the time we can't. But in Rob's defense, I think all four of us here and everybody in the chat, I think we all can run in a straight line and fall down without anybody touching us. So we can't say that everything these athletes do, we can't do.
Never mind.
So my point,
Go ahead, Rob.
my original point is a wide receiver is dependent on a quarterback being able to read the defense, throw him open, find him, avoid pressure, and being able to deliver a football for them to have an impact on the game. Saquon Barkley just needed Jones to give him the football, and Saquon Barkley made things happen on his own. Jones didn't help him run the football. Like,
and even Saquon was hindered because of Jones too.
Exactly.
On the pass routes.
Exactly.
But to your point though, Rob, and I don't want to keep picking on you, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I
don't mind.
Well, I know you. That's why I do it. Well, first of all, if I thought you could,
if you knew I minded, you'd still do it anyway. So.
Yeah, I know I'm not nice. But to the last point about the quarterback and Daniel Jones, putting the running back in the proper position to actually be able to run the ball is just as important coming up to the line. You need to have your shifts. You need to have your adjustments. You need to call out the mic. You need to make sure that if you see
8-man box
in the box, thank you. If you see 8 in the box, you either need to check out of that play. You need to call a draw. You need to do something. And that's why Saquon Barkley's best season was when he, as a rookie, is when he had a professional quarterback.
Yeah. His best season is coming up.
He was not his best season is coming. That's what scares me. He's not even. Eli Manning was out of his prime, big time, by 19, big time. I should use 18, big time. But it was Eli's Manning's ability to read the defenses, call the line, and make the adjustments that made Saquon Barkley as successful as he was. Because people forget what Pat Shurmur had to say to Saquon Barkley his rookie season. Everyone, again, as the mind eyes wander, people forget certain things. Saquon Barkley was told by Pat Shurmur, stop fucking dancing. Drop your foot in the bucket and go.
Yeah.
None of this spinning, none of this juking, none of this shit. Just go. And people forget that Barkley got trapped behind the line of the scrimmage quite extensively early on in that year. And it was Eli Manning's understanding of the game that said, okay, I'm going to put my guy in a position as a running back to run the ball, not only catch it, and make him successful by doing everything I could do with my pre-snap adjustments and put him into the position to make him successful.
Yeah. No, and look, and that's a thing for me, is like Jones doesn't slide protections. He doesn't identify. Like in 2022, he wasn't even IDing the mic. John Feliciano was IDing the mic. Was IDing the mic. And Tone was the one that pointed it out. We were in a space one day, and he's like, Daniel Jones doesn't point out the mic. He doesn't call out, blocking assignments or sliding. John Feliciano was doing that, and you can hear it because he was going back and watching film, and he's like, you can hear it. You can hear John calling out like who the mic is and whatever. So
but the coaching staff even came out and said at one point in time that Jones wasn't doing that. That Jones was not doing the pre-snap read, the center was. Which I thought was interesting because they were saying that also about with JMS.
Yeah, I think JMS was trying to do it last year too.
They were saying about JMS as well, that he was doing the pre-snap. I want to give a big shout out, of course, to Cutthroat saying encore Tim. T-Brad's got a good question. This is T-Brad's question. T-Brad is saying, who is the worst quarterback room than us? Who has the worst quarterback room than us? Anyone?
Appalachian State. You didn't say college or pro, T-Brad. You didn't say college or pro.
T-Brad, he did not. All right, I'm going to rephrase that. Who in the pros? NFL.
Oh, I was about to go UFL. Ooh, you're a smart man. You're a smart man.
NFL. Current day NFL. Who has the worst quarterback? I know you're going there too. Who has the worst quarterback room than us? Anyone? I'll start with Antonio because he's thinking.
I'll be honest. Like,
do you look like Antonio?
Oh, my bad. I didn't hear you say Antonio's name. My fault.
You're gonna start with Antonio. He's the guest. You're just annoying.
That's what she said.
I think we're the worst NFL quarterback room by
Jay,
far.
Robert.
Yeah, I was trying to think like Raiders. They got Gardner Minshew and O'Connell. Like
I would take them over.
I would take them.
What we have.
Then I'm thinking like Steelers, but I would take Russell
Wilson
and Fields. Yeah, I think, bro, I think it's got to be us. And the only reason why I thought about those teams is like they could potentially beat teams next year looking for quarterbacks. But like right now, their quarterback room isn't bad. Like I can't think of a team.
James is thinking. Can you see the smoke? He's like, or is that the other smoke? Just checking.
Yeah, I can't. I
know where you are.
I can't think of another team. I can't think of another team. Like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, it was like, oh well, the Patriots are definitely worse than what we are, and now they're better. Now they're better. They got 2 rookies. They got Bailey Zappi. Like they're in a better position than we are right now. So, yeah, we got the worst quarterback room. Giants.
No.
James.
Nasty.
Yo, man, I was really trying to think while these two brothers were talking, and
I don't love the Appalachian State one though.
You can't even say the Broncos.
You can't.
No.
Because they got Zach Wilson. They just drafted Bo Nix, and they got who's that other guy that they have? Was it Stidham or something like that? Who they had playing games last year?
Stidham or Cinnamon Toast. I don't know.
Oh man, I think it's us, man. I can't. I'm really running through. I'm thinking like, well, even the Jets. Like, let's say Aaron Rodgers gets hurt again. Guess what? Tyrod Taylor is gonna have to come in and save another New York team. But at least they have Tyrod. He's proven. The Patriots. If Drake May struggles, people, who's the favorite quarterback in the NFL? The backup. So he gets on and plays. So people will be screaming for Joe. But they have a guy that people will be screaming for.
James,
we are going to be screaming for Drew Lock, and Rob hopefully will have enough stats that we can say, all right, we'll give this guy a chance. But if you really think about it, man, like who's Carolina's backup? Who's Bryce Young's? I can't even say that because Bryce Young has more upside.
It's Andy Dalton. It's Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. He's better than Drew Lock.
The Red Rocket. The
Red Rocket. So no, he's better than Drew. No, so we have the worst quarterback.
Strider says, hey, Tim, remember when Kayvon Thibodeau was taken out by Jalen Hurts? Oh, wait, that happened. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember him ever being blocked by a quarterback, Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau was the greatest player there ever was. I don't remember ever he being shut out by a quarterback that's like 6 feet tall. I don't know what you're talking about, Strider. I don't really know what you're talking about. No clue what you're talking about there. What do we got here?
Damn, that's bad.
Hey, James, can I ask you a question?
No. Of course. I got to read the chat. Hold on.
If the Giants' offensive line,
I just told him no. I got to read the chat. Sunlight says, if you think the Giants are in a good place, you're a Joneser denial again. I told you no. I got to read the chat, and this is what
can you flip me? Can you flip us?
No.
Poor Ryan. God damn it, Scott. God damn it.
Oh no! Wait a minute. I have to because he blew my mind last week. And I'm still shocked by it because of the fact I'm still shocked by it, T-Brad. I'm still shocked. You told me you're black. I'm still. You need to tell people these things ahead of time. What's up, T?
Not much, man. You guys have a good show.
Are you driving?
Going on today, it's good flow going.
No, he's just wearing a seatbelt for his health.
My wife is driving.
No. Last time his daughter was driving.
Well, my wife is driving.
Oh, okay.
Other people drive.
Hey, tell her I said hello.
I would say I'm driving a self-driving car, but Tim said
tell
hello.
Your wife I said hello.
Hola.
Thank you. I don't want to say her name out loud, but my wife says she misses you and she watched some of those shows. My wife says she watched some of the shows that she recommended.
Hey, we'll go back to the spot. You guys, we all know the spot. We'll hit peddlers up.
All right. Okay. All right, just making sure. It is the summer, so I'm just.
Tim, have you ever seen the movie Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo?
I live it, dude.
Rob?
No, listen. The reason why I'm saying this because I just watched it the other night with the wife because it's been a long time. So for your joke, do you remember where the girl and the guy comes out of the closet when Antoine's at the house, and she's blind, and she says, "You're black." I knew it. You should get that audio clip.
But the problem is this wasn't a joke.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, to edit, like, you can play that audio, like that audio clip.
And then it made me even laugh even harder because then he told me that James was black.
Who knew?
I just thought he was tan. I just thought James was like really tan because he worked outside or something. To be honest.
Okay, that was racist.
To be honest, we have to find out how people are. We have to find out if people are black or not. Because I like to let people know I got a lot of black friends.
Well, evidently I do too, and didn't know it. I was the only one that didn't know this. T-Brad, is your internet working? Because you're very bouncy.
Sorry.
I got a question for you. We asked this question already, and I wanted to get your answer. Who do you think? Do you think the Giants have the worst quarterback room in the NFL right now? And if they don't, who is worse than the Giants?
They are the worst. There's no future.
Not even.
No,
and then
future does not look bright.
My next question is this: we had this also total. If Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock start 17 games, what is the Giants' win-loss record?
The Giants win. I don't care who starts for the Giants with the board that they have. We win no more than 3 games.
So we're winning
no
more than 3 games, no matter who starts.
Wow.
Yeah. That sounds.
I don't give a damn unless we make a trade for somebody. But that ship is sailed. Look at our division. Who could we beat? No one. Now that Washington has a new, so that's 6 games down the drain.
Okay.
6. And you go to any other division that we'll have to play each people to the division. That's another 4 games, right? So now we have another 4 games. Think of a division where we can beat one of the teams in the division.
What division is Appalachian State in?
Everyone's thinking. We can't play them. It's illegal.
Last question that we were talking about on the stream. Appalachian State? We're gonna be last question that we all had on the stream that we were debating. Wan'Dale Robinson, Smurf or midget?
Ooh.
What do you think?
The crazy thing is I like Wan'Dale Robinson as a player, gadgety, but he's a Smurf, not a midget, because midget is offensive these days.
I'm sorry, Smurf or LP?
We like to keep it PC when we can.
LP.
There you go.
Well, Smurf is a fictional. Well, a Smurf is a fictional character. LP is technically anybody under 4'11", I believe. So we're just gonna go with the fictional character.
Actually, I think it's 4'11" and above. I think it's above 4'11" because I'm only asking this because my wife is 4'11". Everyone's just like, I don't know where.
So yeah.
I wanted to say something.
I'm stepping into a house.
What's that?
I want to say peace out, everybody. I'm stepping into a house and my internet's shutting, and I don't want to mess up the stream. But
nah, man.
Thanks for bringing me on.
Appreciate it, brother.
We always appreciate you, T-Brad. Always appreciate you coming in. Thank you as always.
Daniel Jones for president, 2024.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Don't. Just for that, I'm going to take you out, T-Brad. I don't understand this one, Rob.
That's my.
I was just looking at that, and
that's my preseason, like post-draft, like win-loss record.
Oh, I was looking at it without the win losses, and
so you got 4 wins.
Yes.
You don't think we are going to beat? Well, no,
we're not beating Minnesota, Rob.
We're not.
I'll bet you a side bet on that.
We're not.
That to me is like you got a rookie quarterback playing stuff like that. So I was kind of like, with that.
No, you think JJ's going to start this year?
Yeah, I think JJ is going to start.
From week 1?
I think it's going to be Bo Nix, JJ, Jaden, and Caleb are going to be the 4 starting rookie quarterbacks going into week 1.
Okay.
So we're only winning one road game, and that road game is going to be in Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't even think we beat Carolina.
I don't think we beat Carolina either.
I like the Vikings game for us to win. I'll give you that. I don't like the Colts us winning. And I don't like us beating Washington at all this year.
Yeah, I don't.
I think we could still potentially split, maybe with Washington, maybe, and I mean maybe. Because to be fair, like even the last 2 years, those games have been pretty tight.
I believe in the defensive coordinator / head coach now that Washington has in order to shut us down on offense. I think he has the sauce to stop Jones.
James,
even if he doesn't have the players.
James, what is your thought right here? James, I see you have this look.
We got to flip flop the myth again. If you guys played sports, I think the Minnesota game, I think they're going to have motivation to beat us. And I think some of those people are going to be embarrassed that they lost to the worst, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
James, really quick. You know what would be funny? If JJ McCarthy is starting and he just absolutely destroys us.
Oh my God.
No, Rob, that would not be funny at all. That would not be funny at all.
I would love that movie.
That would not be funny. That would be the worst. That would be like Titanic because you know what's going on. And at the end of the movie, it's just depressing.
Wait a minute.
That would be sad.
Wait a minute. First of all, no movie references, James. Let's talk football. And second of all, she could have let Jack on the board, man. There was enough room for both of them.
We're not going to talk about that. That's embarrassing. I was so mad at that in the movie theater.
Like, you know what, honey? I'm sorry, but there's just no room. You just hang in there, and when they don't come and get us, you probably won't die.
Hey, yo, Antonio, if Jack was black or Dominican, you know what he said? He said, yo, you got to move over, yo. He was like, yo, honey, you got to move over. I just saved your life. You got to move over.
He would have lived.
I'm gonna ask you to go do something right now, James. Go say that to your girl right now.
And I'll be honest too. You know what?
She would have moved over.
I'm also hoping low key. I'm also hoping low key when we play the Falcons that Penix is playing.
Oh. You just want us to get embarrassed by all the guys.
I do.
Yeah.
I want the 2 quarterbacks that were there available for them to take. I hope that they both are playing this year at some point or whatever the case may be. And I'm not wishing on injury on Kirk or nothing like that, but I'm hoping that whenever we play them that they're playing and they just fucking like make them regret not fucking taking them.
I would say this: Brian Flores also with the Vikings game has a little vengeance against us and wants to get off.
The lawsuit is still going on. I personally think that if I look at this, that I think Joey Aguilar might beat us. Now, of course, that is the starting quarterback for Appalachian State.
I was going to say, who the hell is that? I was like,
he's the starting quarterback for Appalachian State.
Oh my God.
We're not going to go without a win, though. So where's the win coming?
I can see us beating New Orleans.
Wait, Rob, you have us losing to Tampa at home. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Rob, you got us losing to New Orleans, Rob?
Yes.
I was looking at the New Orleans one.
They beat our ass last year and they got better.
See, because I think I think we lose to Washington and Indianapolis, but I think we can beat the Saints or the Bucks.
And Carolina, I can see us beating Carolina just because of me. Brian Burns will have 3 sacks that day.
I think the only team out of the NFC South that we can beat is Carolina. I think the other teams are just better. We don't like, and this is no diss on Banks, but like Banks is not going to be able to cover Mike Evans. Sorry, but Mike Evans is gonna like put up some numbers on us. Like Mike Evans is still good. Like he's right now, I think he's going into Like he has a potential. I think could be like year 11 or 12 that if he hits 1,000 yards, that he's done it 11 or 12 straight seasons with 1,000 yards. Like that's really good, and he's going to put up numbers. What I'm hoping for, this is actually what I'm hoping for. I would like to open up the year against Philadelphia, but it's probably going to be against Dallas because it's almost always against Dallas. I would actually like to go like Dallas, then have to go to Pittsburgh, and then go back home to play like the Bengals or the Ravens.
So you can start 0-3? What's going on here?
I want. Well, listen, I want.
No, that'll never happen.
Listen, I want to. I think
like 40 at home during.
Why not? Listen, they decided to go ahead and like, why not take your and the Steelers game? And I think I brought this up to you, Antonio. That Steelers game is going to be pretty interesting because you're talking about our offensive line. You're going up against T.J. Watt, Highsmith.
Rob, hold that thought, Rob. I got to get to this chat from Big Brian here. This is just a total hater channel anymore. We won 6 games last year with everyone hurt, with a third-string quarterback. Dable is a good coach. Proved it last year. This team doesn't give up. Brian, you know what you are.
I think you're going to get away with it. Not up in here. Not up in here.
You are a fucking idiot, and you're going to be gone. So have yourself a nice day. Have yourself a nice life. We're not even going to delete the comment. We're also going to block you and put you in timeout because we don't deal with morons. We're going to move on to the next comment. We're going to go to Mr. Sanders because everyone's always smart. We will be picking a quarterback in next year's draft with the top 3 pick. Razzle also says, so basically the end of the season is going to be in September, according to Rob.
August.
I would say August. Even late July.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob, man, you just brought down the whole freaking channel, dude.
Sorry.
You just brought down the whole channel because you're basically saying our season's over in week 4.
Do you know what's crazy about that dude's comment? First of all, Barbara, shout out to you, Queen. But fans like that, I left a comment to her before I jumped on. It's people like that think we're just on the verge of turning a corner. Yeah. It's people like that, Barbara. He really, like, that guy said we have 6 wins. When 2 of those wins, we were literally gifted. The Eagles game, where everybody got hurt, and then they just stopped playing in the second half. The Patriots game, where Bill Belichick pulled a Belichick. So we really only had 4 wins. And honestly, the only win that I really think we really earned,
Green Bay,
and that's because the defense stopped playing, was Arizona. Because they stopped playing, and we took advantage, and the offense actually looked good. We had a comeback. Call it what it was, but that was probably the best looking win we've had all year against the black astronaut farmer.
James, you want to know something? You want to know what I heard yesterday?
Something crazy. Go ahead.
I did. I heard something amazing. That if the Giants' offensive line can hold up,
if they can block.
Okay, if they can block.
Hey, what do offensive lines they're supposed to block? No.
And if they can hold up, the floor for Daniel Jones next year is 4,200 yards.
Oh my God.
24 touchdowns and 10 interceptions.
Did you say 42? You said 4,200 yards.
And the ceiling. Hold on.
Damn.
The ceiling.
Oh, you said the floor?
The floor. The ceiling.
4,800.
Like 4,800.
4,800 yards. That's what he said. I'm not even gonna mention names. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Oh, Tone, you heard that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was there.
I
was there. It was embarrassing.
James, I got a couple minutes because I got to get out of here by 12. So I got a couple minutes here, and you know what? You have something you have to say about this floor.
I'm gonna sum this up very eloquently, and Tone, you're gonna appreciate this. Rob, you will, and so will you. Listen to what I'm about to say. If I told you guys, if this was 20 years ago, and I told you guys and all the fans out there, right? Think about this. We have a quarterback that runs more than passes, doesn't throw accurate deep balls, doesn't read defenses, didn't come from a big school, and is more of an athlete than he is a quarterback. Do you know what they be calling that guy? A black quarterback. But for some reason, in this day and age, when we have Daniel Jones, we treat that guy like he is the Messiah. Now, I'll be honest. I'm not as eloquent as T-Brad and Rob and Tone and my brother. I'm not. so I don't have a channel. I would be canceled in 48 hours, and I'll be fine. But think about what I just said. If you've been watching football, if you've been watching football, if you're of a certain age, then you know everything I said is what they used to say about black quarterbacks.
Right.
Somehow, with this kid, he gets a pass. I wonder why he gets a pass. Not
multiple chances.
And he got a new deal.
Mm-hmm.
He got a new deal.
Justin Fields.
And
I got to be honest.
If you're looking for a new deal, though, James, go to mintmobile.com/BigBlue because you can get 6 free months of Paramount Plus along with their best plan, $15 a month, unlimited internet for 3 months. Mintmobile.com/BigBlue. Get your 6 months free Paramount Plus premium wireless service for only $15 a month. Unlimited internet. Go check it out right now. But go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
And you get to go to the club with Daniel Jones.
You get to go to the club with Daniel Jones.
Think about guys.
Yeah.
Eli Manning and Carmelo Anthony have a new Corona commercial out. You guys tell me this guy is a New York quarterback and going into 6 years.
When have you seen him on commercial?
I don't even see this guy on a poster
on a newspaper
on the road.
No.
I don't see him anywhere.
I don't know what's going on in that building. Like what
anywhere
kind of diabolical ritual they doing with this kid that this kid has to have this much time on the job. What's going on? It's some weird stuff.
James,
yeah.
How long?
I don't know what that means, man. It sounds pretty bad.
James, how long before Leak gets a commercial?
Oh, listen. Yeah.
How long before Leak? Yeah. How long before you see Leak on a poster?
Yo, listen. It's such a small thing, but we are in New York.
Yeah.
And this guy doesn't have one ad.
No.
But you paid him $160 million.
That's why he doesn't have to.
But you can't pick him off of a bus stop.
Not one local car dealership commercial neither. Like nothing.
Not
nothing.
even come on down to the Autobahn.
Not one radio fucking commercial, dude.
Listen, bro. The only thing I've seen him on was that undercover shit where he was at that clothing store. The clothing store.
What are you talking? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Is that like Giants sponsored stuff?
I don't know if it was Giant sponsored stuff, but like the store, he was basically an undercover guy, pretending to work there.
He didn't even need to be undercover because nobody would recognize his ass anyways.
Well, nobody knew who he was.
Him.
Nobody knew who he was.
I wouldn't even recognize who Daniel Jones is if I see him in the middle of the street, bro. I'm gonna be 100% honest on that. I would just be like, well.
If you can recognize Daniel Jones on the street, make sure you hit the like button. James, we're gonna have to wrap this up because I want to make sure I get everyone their final thoughts. So we only got about 3 minutes left. We're gonna start with Antonio coming in here from Breaking Tackle Giants. So eloquently came in as James. Where's the wine?
My name.
No, beer today,
Antonio.
Beer today.
Hey, I'll be quick about it, man. I want to thank Tim for letting me get on here. And
all right, time's up.
Listen, I just.
Okay, well, you want to do it.
Oh my God, yo!
Well, he said he wanted. Damn, what do you want? I'm an
Come on, man. Can't do that to the guests.
Hey, y'all made me feel worse about the season. I'm done. That's it.
It's all right. Hey, he's on the bottom. He likes it. He likes being on the bottom.
That's what she said.
Come on, what's your final? I'm sorry. I know you got to get out at the top of the hour as well, so I want to make sure you get your final.
No, listen, that's it. Pretty much, listen, I feel even worse about the season now. Thank you for you guys for that. And listen, that's it. Watch. Hey, let's keep fighting this plague of DJ supporters on Twitter. That's pretty much it, man.
All right, Rob.
Yeah. So it's I'm just.
Okay, well, Ron,
listen, eloquently.
Damn, yeah.
Like I said,
did anyone see my Dunkin' Donuts cup? I knew where it was.
No, look, it's gonna be a rough year. I'm not going into this year with really any expectations. I think if you're being objective, right? They chose and felt that this team was better right now with Daniel Jones on it. And so, the expectation for them is to win games, right? I'm not expecting that, but the expectation for them is to win games. I will say, quick little plug, not for me, but I don't know how you guys
online Big Blue Sports.
If you're not watching this guy up here above me, right? Go check out Pat Leonard's channel, his YouTube channel. He posts out some good pod stuff, and he had Gary Myers on there recently, a few days ago. Really, really good interview, insight to the Giants and insight to potentially the future of this team. And he basically came out and said, that in his opinion, that Brian is on the hot seat. He doesn't believe that Joe Shane is, but that Brian is on the hot seat. And if Drew Lock looks like a journeyman and Daniel Jones doesn't work out, that Brian could be on his way out. And he believes that it'll be down to one coach.
Not Bill Belichick. And we're going to move on to the last slide.
Williams,
James, kick us out of here before we get out, because we got to get out of here. So give me your
real quick, man. Just real quick, man. Everybody have a good Cinco de Mayo. Yesterday was Star Wars Day. Shout out to my mom. She put me on to Star Wars. Thank you for all the brothers here. Antonio, you gave some good stuff. I did it in a different angle today. You were swinging.
I don't want to tell you what that looks like you're doing. I don't even know.
I was trying to give him a beat.
Everybody in the chat. And
we normally close out the song, of course. We normally close out everything with.
Is that a Napa card?
I was going to say, what is that? We normally close out.
Hold on.
Of course. That is a Napa.
You want to know why I keep talking about black quarterbacks? I got a card.
CP card. We normally close out our song, of course, or we close out the show with the theme song for Online Big Blue. But for Antonio, who came in here strong and wanted to make sure that the Dominicanos were all.
We're gonna need some merengue and some bachata next time, though.
Oh,
listen, man, it's hard enough to pull this off, okay?
Bring out the Brugal, baby.
No, we got to close it. We got to close it out the right way, because as you always know, this is Tipsy, our Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. I want to thank Antonio from Breaking Tackle Giants. I want to thank R0B and the Venerable James Williams for always coming in. And as always, have yourself a good Sunday, guys. And
do the monkey with me.
Monkey with me.